again. Bill Pfeiffer speaking from Marysfield. Today's December 6th, the feast of St. Nicholas. Do press the subscribe or like button if you so choose. That we'd appreciate it. I just wanted today to share a little bit about Saint Nick. I didn't know much at all, and so I had to do some homework, a little bit of research, and I had some books. I had the Saint of the Day, an image, a couple of volumes from Image Books, so I consulted there. Cindy bought a couple of volumes that are just marvelous for our kids many years ago called Ordinary People, Extraordinary Lives, Inspirational Stories of the Saints. I consulted that and found a nice page on St. Nicholas. Another book that I had in my library that I think might have been Cindy's 100 Saints, which really was a help. And then Cindy gets a thing called, a magazine called Magnificat once a month that has all kinds of liturgical suggestions and prayers and so on for the seasons. This one's for December, and I found a little bit in there about St. Nicholas. So let me share a little bit. I'm kind of stuck a little bit close to the books today because I really am not that familiar with this story, but it would be good for us all to know a little bit about St. Nick. And from this book, a real nice thing. His parents, the author says, died when he was a young man, leaving him well off, and he determined to devote his inheritance to works of charity. He says an opportunity soon arose when a citizen of Patara had lost all of his money and had, moreover, to support 3 daughters who could not find husbands because of their poverty. They weren't able to have a dowry. So the wretched man was going to give them over to prostitution. Then this came to the ears of Nicholas, who thereupon took a bag of gold and under cover of darkness threw it in an open window of the man's house. Another story I read said he threw 3 bags in, one for each of the daughters, the other 2 marrying maybe later on, and they went right into the stockings of the girls. Therefore, the hanging of the stockings, you're all with that, huh? He threw that. Here was the dowry for the eldest girl, and she was soon duly married. At intervals, Nicholas did the same for the second and third. At the last time, the father was on the watch. He stayed around and tried to find out who was doing this, and he followed Saint Nicholas and found out that it was he who was doing the providing a dowry for his daughters. And then in Magnificat, a nice little section that continues. Sometime later, the bishop of Myra died, and all of the bishops of the region gathered to choose a successor. Among them was one bishop of great authority, upon whose opinion the decision of the others would depend. This bishop exhorted the others to fast and pray, and that very night he heard a voice telling him to post himself at the doors of the church in the morning, and to consecrate as bishop the first man he saw coming in, whose name would be Nicholas. Meanwhile, Nicholas, miraculously guided by God, went early to the church and was the first one to enter. The bishop coming up to him asked his name, and Nicholas bowed his head and answered, "Nicholas, the servant of your holiness." Then all the bishops led him in, consecrated him, installed him in the episcopal throne. But he, amidst all of the honors and all of the praise that he received, always preserved his former humility and simplicity. He was humble in his attitude toward others, persuasive in speech, forceful in counsel, and strict when reprimands were called for. And then back to the other book to kind of conclude. St. Nicholas is said to have been painted by Christian artists more than anyone else other than the Blessed Mother. He's venerated as the patron of sailors and of children especially. Being patron of sailors, it's probably due to the legend that during his lifetime he appeared to a storm-tossed sailor mariners who called on his aid off the coast of Lycia. He brought them safely to port. Sailors in the Aegean and Ionian seas follow a common Eastern custom. They wore the star of St. Nicholas and wished one another a good voyage with the phrase, "May Nicholas hold the tiller." The story of the three daughters, the three children, gave rise, of course, to his patronage of children, especially giving presents in his name at Christmas time. The greatest popularity of St. Nicholas is found in Russia. He, with St. Andrew, are the patrons of the Russian nation. A lot of icons in Russia to St. Nicholas. All of the churches seem to have an icon of him. So he's a patron saint of Greece, Apulia, Sicily, and Lorraine. He died about the year 350. He was also present at the first council, the Council of Nicaea in 325, which tried to discover or determine the relationship of Jesus to the Father. There were Arians who said that Jesus was not equal to the Father, and so on. The Arian heresy was really big. The council was actually called by Constantine, the emperor, and not by the church. The church had already gotten so entangled for one reason or another with government that the government people really ended up, in this case, he called the council of Nicaea. Nicaea is a little state in Bithynia. So Nicholas became the bishop of Myra, M-Y-R-A, Myra or Myra, and that's a little place, a section near Turkey. Good to be with you. I hope that this helps a little bit in your celebration of Christmas. We had a little St. Nicholas Day party for our family last Saturday. We celebrated a little early because of other people working, but every year we've gathered our family. I've gone out shopping, and I get an ornament, a tree ornament for everybody, wrap it up, and they take the tree ornament home and put it on their trees, as we do here. And then, like with us, when our kids leave or get married, we let them take all of their ornaments with them, and they have their own tree, and they have a start with the ornaments that we've been giving them during the St. Nicholas celebration here in the family. So nice thing, really nice thing, St. Nicholas, huh? So happiness tomorrow always depends on doing the truth today, and one of the things is to celebrate the various feasts that we in the liturgical cycle in the Catholic Church have. God bless. Keep me in your prayers. You're always in mind. Notice I had my Santa thing on today, a red jacket with a nice little white furry cap. Love you. God bless. Bye-bye.